provide that portion for them.
Mhm.
That's what my thing.
Yeah. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. It feels like it's been a long time. Yeah, the time we took off from the classes in order to get things situated feels like it's been a long time, especially for everyday Arabic. And maybe some people may say, well, how is it everyday Arabic? It's now only one day a week. So the name of the course is Everyday Arabic, not Arabic Every Day. So the goal of the course is to learn the Arabic that's used in everyday speech. That's what's called everyday Arabic. So this is like the Arabic that's used in the everyday interactions in the Arab world. This is why it's called everyday Arabic. So it's everyday Arabic. It's not Arabic every day, because even when we were taking a more intense course, we were doing it 5 days a week and then 7 days in a week. So it still wasn't every day, right? So this is everyday Arabic, not Arabic every day. We would like to increase these lessons also. We just have to look at the schedule, because now what we've done is something that I wanted to do from beginning, is that have a separate class for adults and children. So now the younger students, they'll have another day in this lesson. We can really expand, because the adult learner inclines more toward comprehension, and the young learner is focused more on memorization. And that is the Eastern, I even want to say the Islamic style of teaching. Whereas the Western style of teaching is totally different. And that is why when people try to adopt Western ideology for Islamic education, the Islamic education is going to be lost. The Islamic education is going to be lost. If we look at it, for instance, the first way that Islamic education is lost, when it is made secondary versus worldly education. This in and of itself creates a psychology in the learner that this is second, my deen is second in importance. My dunya comes first. So if my dunya has been accomplished and established, I'll make time for deen. This was my point in the summer, when it was supposed to be in the children's program in the summer, of having it every day, so that the children can understand this is part of your life. It's not a hobby. Your deen cannot be a hobby. So those little weekend Quran classes in the different masajid and weekend Arabic classes, it's an adaptation from Christianity. But that you practice your deen when you have time off from your dunya. So the next problem with adapting Western ideology when it comes to Islamic education is when we divide our religion into subjects. When we divide our religion into subjects, we say, what? Yes, when we divide our religion into subjects, according to the Western style, it doesn't mean that, people may think that subject and a topic are synonymous, but that's not always the case. Subject and topic is not always synonymous. So our religion has been dealt in the topics, or maybe it's even better to say issues, because we want to deal with that particular issue. The issue of belief, we deal with it as the issue of belief, but we don't separate it from the rest of the deen. The issue is an issue of jurisprudence, then we treat it as an issue of jurisprudence, but we don't separate from the rest of the deen. If the issue is an issue of interactions, then we treat it as an issue of interaction, but we don't separate it from the rest of the deen. Whereas, and this is why I don't believe in, I remember one of the brothers asked me, said, well, when you study, what did you specialize in? I don't believe in specializing, I'm a Muslim. There's no part of our religion that I'm going to treat this as special and I'm going to treat the rest of the religion as secondary. I want to learn Islam in order to be a Muslim. So I need to understand the whole of the religion, because as soon as you take on the idea, this is what, like I said, it's taken from the West. As soon as you adopt the ideal of specializing, it means that you're going to intentionally, indirectly, but intentionally ignore or not give the due attention to another part of the deen. I'm going to specialize in fiqh. So now you want to intentionally, but indirectly ignore hadith. Ignore, why? Because you're going to specialize in something. Just learn Islam. Just learn Islam. Don't pick and choose. But you already have a disposition and a personality. So what's going to happen is that the Islamic sciences, you, based on your disposition and personality, are going to incline to a particular issue over others. This inclination is just going to happen by default. Right? You're not going to make the choice. But your what they say, your innate interest, your innate abilities, right? That's what's going to guide you to that which you focus on, but not specializing. You're going to focus on, and this is why we look at great scholars of the recent past, like Sheikh Muhammad Al-Amin Al-Shanqiti, the one that we're going over his book on, I believe, on Wednesdays, Islam is a Complete Religion. He said if he spoke in any subject, you thought that's what he specialized in. Hey, let's go, Salas. Grab a seat. Yeah. So they said whatever he spoke on, you thought he thought that was his only subject. The same thing was said about Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah, and other great scholars of the past, that they were so well-rounded in deen that if they were to speak on a subject, you think, oh, this is where he is his focus and like that. We look at Western psychology when it comes to studying. When somebody says, oh yeah, no, I'm going to go to the faculty of medicine, it means that he's going to be ignorant about law. He's not going to study law. And he will not have any right to talk about law. A Muslim can't do that. A Muslim can't say, I'm going to focus on studying prophetic medicine from the book and the sunnah like that, and he's not going to understand fiqh. Because he needs, in order to understand how to apply the prophetic medicine. Exactly. So it's no thing and exclude everything else. You don't have nothing. And this is why Sheikh Saleh Ali Sheikh, this is more than 10 years ago. He gave a lecture called طالب العلم الكتب or طالب العلم الكتب. I forget which one. It was either this طالب العلم الكتب, the student of knowledge in his books, or طالب العلم الكتب, seeking knowledge and books. But in it, he spoke about how people were coming to him. And this has happened to me. Brothers have reached out to me when I was in Egypt from Saudi. They're in Muhammad Ibn Saud University, without mentioning names. Some brothers are in Medina University, without mentioning names. And they say, listen, I need you to make for me a curriculum that I can follow outside of the university so I can really learn. Because I see now, after the curriculum is laid in front of me, I'm not going to be strong. Because the curriculum is only to basically give you a nubza, an introduction. It is rare that you're actually going to finish a whole book in anything. This is reality. Why? Because the Western methodology has been adopted. The Western methodology has been adopted. And the Western methodology of acquiring knowledge and being firm is weak. Because it's about general understanding, Q&A, and then you write your thesis. You summarize everything, and you do not have to be precise. You can be very, oh, that's basically what's being said. This is the psychology of Western learning. We have a different psychology of learning. We focus on precision. Precision is important. Memorization is important to us. Western education doesn't require you to memorize. Some education you need to memorize, you need to know it verbatim. The paraphrase. You need to know it verbatim. So this is why it's a totally different culture and ideology of learning. It cannot be adopted in order to learn Islam. Because when you're learning Islam, you're learning how to live your life. Whereas if you're learning secular knowledge, you're learning a field of practice in order to earn a living. And you don't require that 24/7. You only need that when you're at the site of work. And this is very, very important for us to understand. We have our own psychology. And when we begin behaving like that, then the world will understand who we are. But everybody walks around and they make sure, especially those who drive cars, that they have their identification. But where are people walking with identification but without identity? Have we been traversing upon this earth as Muslims with an identity? Brother Samaj, when you come and ask about Islam, he already, as he explained to me today, he's already been doing reading. But it would be so clear what a Muslim is. It would be like during the time of the Prophet. During the time of the Prophet, people used to come not to ask about what Islam taught. They would say, "Oh, Messenger of Allah, I want to become a Muslim." They already had it. From the beginning of the Muslims, they already knew what was upon them. But today, we have Samaj coming. He has to now question, we're going to do a Q&A and give him detail. Why? Because the absence of our identity. Another young man came today, also wanting to become a Muslim. But when he's at work at this time, he said he's going to try to come at one of the earlier times. I told him to come to Jumu'ah on Friday. And he said, I've really been wanting to stop. I've been seeing you out here for the past week or more, and I wanted to stop, but I was shy, to stop and begin questioning you. But now that I came, he made a purchase. So when he came to make the purchase, he said, so now this gave me the opportunity to speak to you. He said, I feel like I'm a lost soul. I feel like I'm a lost soul. And I want to find out what it is you guys are doing, what you believe, to see if this is where I feel like I'm being guided to. So I want to find out. But had we been living our identity, he would have had his answers and came just like the people used to do it during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I want to become a Muslim. It would have been in there. I want to become a Muslim because I know what Muslims do. I see them there. Their example is clear that they are different from everybody else because they believe this, they do this, and like that. But when people have to question, it shows that there's some ambiguity. That there's some unclarity about us that has to be made. So one of the things we want to make a distinction between us and everybody else's ideology. And this is not about putting someone's ideology up or down or like that. We have the best ideology because our ideology and methodology is based on revelation. Even when it comes down to learning. Like what came in the hadith when the Jewish man wanted to make mockery of the companions. He said, oh, you're a messenger of Muhammad. He tells you guys everything to do, even to use the bathroom. The companion said, yes. He told us that when we go to use the bathroom, that we should go so far that when that no one can see us. And that we should lower, because they're wearing robes or the waist wraps. He said that we should lower ourselves to the ground before lifting our garments in order not to expose ourselves. And that if it's a khala, that we should step in with our left hand and we should seek refuge from the devil. And if we're leaving out, we should step out with our right foot. And that we should use our left hand to clean ourselves. And then we should use an odd number. Yeah, you're right. He does teach us everything. Not physically. And not physically. Exactly. Yeah, he does teach us. We don't have to figure it out. He does teach us everything. So we have to now embrace our Islamic culture, embrace our Islamic ideology and methodology. And we have to be open with what it is. So that people can either accept Islam upon clarity or reject Islam upon clarity. There shouldn't, it shouldn't be a conversation about, I see, because I know some Muslims do that. So you don't, so what kind of Muslim are you? This is the issue. This is the issue. And this is why I say to Samaj and anyone else thinking about embracing Islam, don't look toward the people, look towards the scripture. The scripture is going to tell you what's right. The people today, many are not an example of what Islam propagates. So we're talking about a class today in Arabic. And some may believe that the conversations that we have during the class have nothing to do with the class. And the problem is, people don't know how to learn. And when someone doesn't know how to learn, they could be left in a library and not benefit. Person could be left in a library and not benefit. Why? Because they don't know how to. So it's important when someone does present themselves as a learner. And this is another thing that we adopted from the West. And another issue is that, now I'm talking about when it comes to specific settings. I'm not talking about just learning the general knowledge about Islam by which a person is a Muslim. So that's open for everyone. But when you talk about studying and delving into the sciences of Islam and a person studying in order to have strong, firm knowledge about Islam, in reality, the person would present themselves to the teacher, and the teacher would decide whether or not that they want to teach that. If you want to depreciate,
Just like Khidr and Moses.
there we go. Just like Khidr and Musa. He had to ask, could he go? Why? Because this information is not obligatory. It's for somebody that's serious about action. So everybody's not open for everyone. If you want to depreciate a thing, you know what you do? You open up access to it. You give everyone access to it. It loses its value. You want to take the value, it can be something very valuable. But once somebody can say, anybody can do it, anybody can go there, anybody can touch that building. Sidebar benefit. This is what happens to women when they're uncovered. And when there's no stipulations in order for a man to be with them except that she likes him and he likes her, she loses her value. But the woman has stipulations, talk to my father, talk to my uncle, talk to my grandfather. No, you can't touch me. She's covered up. Think about it. Even talking about inanimate objects, minerals, everything that's valuable is covered. Gold, silver, diamonds, everything that pearls, oil, petroleum, everything that's valuable, you got to dig, you got to uncover to get to. Everything that's valuable, you have to uncover to get to. Okay, so we have to now return to our values in everything. But the problem is we have to return to our psychological methodology, which is all of the answers we need, we have. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All of the answers that we need, we have. But we keep looking outside of ourselves for the answer to our issues. I saw, I didn't see this, but this happened to a couple in Pennsylvania. They're going to custody court and child support court to Muslims. The judge was a Freemason. You know, they know about Islam. So as they're fighting back and forth like this, so the judge said, well, I mean, you guys are Muslim. You don't have your own system to deal with these things. Why are you in front of this court? I mean, she's in here dressed like that. He's in here like that. So y'all have your own thing. When it comes to you have your own thing, why are you discussing your issues in our court? I don't know why. Maybe the judge got frustrated with it or something, but it's like you guys should have your own system because you have your own. You know, so this is an issue that we have to deal with. So when it comes to learning Arabic, there's a psychology and a methodology to learning Arabic. The first thing, and I mentioned before, it's only two languages that I know of. I'm not saying it's only two, it's only two that I myself know of. Two languages in the world today that connect the people who use those languages to their religion. It's Arabic and Hebrew. So the learning of the Arabic language is not simply something someone to take up as a pastime or yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of no, not dialect. It's Islamic texts written by scholars. Islamic books. Yeah. That has not been translated to any other language. So learning Arabic is not something that take as a hobby or a pastime. The person has to know, okay, how long am I going to be worshiping my Lord through translation? How long? We're the ones that, and we told Samaj yesterday, we tell everybody that, like, yeah, in Islam, there's no intermediate between you and Allah. You talk straight to Allah. There's nobody between you and Allah. Okay, then I'll translate it. So that when you read the Quran, as it said, if you want to speak to Allah, pray. If you want Allah to speak to you, read the Quran. The Quran is the word. Okay, so we're here to learn. And we didn't go through a long process of the etiquettes of learning. And the reason I didn't begin class with the etiquettes of learning and seeking knowledge is because the people who were attending the class and are attending the class have been through some form of education. So I felt that that general understanding of the way a person is educated was accepted and understood, and you don't have to get into detail because you have a general basis that's across the board. No matter if the person is studying Deen or Dunya. And then we can get into more technical specifics when we graduate from the language and go into actual subjects and topics and like that. However, based on some reactions, I see that people don't know how. Don't know how. A clear example of someone that they don't know how to learn and they haven't learned how to learn is when they have in how can I say it? When they're adverse to the methodology of the educator, yet they themselves don't know it. And there's two versions of the movie. Well, I watched it as a child and it came out again. And it's a very important lesson in the beginning of the movie. I don't know if it was done the same way in the second version of the movie, Karate Kid. When Daniel-san didn't know he was learning. And he thought that Mr. Miyagi just had him washing his car. Right? He didn't know he was learning. Because he didn't learn the methodology of Mr. Miyagi. But then after he showed him, the whole time you thought you weren't being educated, you were being taught, he became dedicated. The reason why we didn't get more benefit from the knowledge of, as the Prophet said himself, from the knowledge of Moses, the knowledge of Khidr, because our prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, Moses, he didn't understand the methodology of Khidr. So what happens when the student does not understand the method? People say today, this is from the Western methodology. They say, well, to be an educator, you have to be patient because the student is this and the students and that this kind of student. It's actually the reverse. To be a student, you have to be patient. The student is the one who needs patience. Because according to our methodologies, that if the student is not adept, the student will be refused class, not the teacher. No, the students have to like you. No, your teacher has to like you. Because if your teacher doesn't like you, you're going to be cut off from benefit. Yeah. The teacher did the work already. What does the teacher need to like you for? What are you giving them? Why does the teacher need to like you? So this is and like I mentioned yesterday at the wedding, It's still not published. I'm still working on it. I wrote a book on social psychology called Rules of Engagement. And in there, I have a chapter called The Weak Bully. The weak bully is when the people who are supposed to be on the receiving end. How do you be on the receiving end? Some scholars say that the teacher, the student, when the student is between the hands of the teacher, it should be just like what? The corpse in the hands of the mortician. The mortician is preparing this corpse. It's absolutely. Especially in Islam, in which we have a text. See, we're not worried about being duped, or I'm not saying we're not completely worried about it, but if we are actually applying Islam, meaning learning about Islam, then no one is above the text of Revelation. So even if the teacher goes off into his own opinion, his own thing like that, we have a text to bring him back. Excuse me, teacher, you said such and such and such and such. Nice. But we have here in the Holy Quran, this. We have here in the authentic text of the Sunnah, this. That's it. It's not like the teacher can, as you know, in slang they say, shoot from the hip and just come up with something, and then people have to say, just listen. No, we are secured by revelation. As long as what the teacher is saying and doing is in agreement with revelation, we have no qualms. If it begins to oppose revelation, this is when we speak out. And maybe it was a mistake, maybe he had a misunderstanding, but revelation is what governs us. So we're here in order to learn the Arabic language in a fluent manner, and we want to become native in the way we use the Arabic language, and that is going to take not patience from the teacher, patience from the student. And it's going to take dedication. If the first thing that comes in the mind of a student when it comes to class, this is hard, this is long, then the issue is not the lesson, the issue is the dedication. Issue is dedication. All you have to do is place before a person something they value, and time doesn't matter. So anytime you see a person concerned about time when they're dealing with the matter, it reflects the way they value that. The more important time is, the more they're concerned about getting it over, it shows the less they value that thing. The more time they're willing to put in, it shows the greater value they have that thing. Because as we mentioned way in the beginning of the class, how do we just buy it?
Well, the ease of replacing.
Right. The easier it is to replace a thing, the less value it has. The more difficult it is to replace a thing, the more value it has. And time is irreplaceable. Time is irreplaceable. So the person who's really serious about learning, time, they're not clock watching. For what? They want more. Why? Because I may not get this time again. Might not happen to me again. So I'm going to get it while it's here. This is reality. So when someone is worried about time, not due to obligation, right? Not due to other obligations. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the person that is worried about time where they actually have time. They could do it. They have time to do it, but they don't have enough dedication to do it because they don't value the thing that they're receiving in that time period. No. So we went through the pronouns. We went through the prepositions. We went through the other prepositions, and we want to begin. We talked about the divisions of the Arabic language. You said it has 3 divisions. Who remembers?
We're talking about the
Parts of speech in Arabic.
speech.
Yeah.
So the noun.
Yeah. So we talked about a noun.
Noun is anything that's named.
Anything that's named is a noun in Arabic. Anything that you can give a name to is a noun. This is the easiest way to understand it. If it has a name, if you can say, what is that? That's such and such, it's been named. Such and such, it's been named. Then that is a noun. And now, in Arabic, the singular is Again? Put it,
Al ism.
now, at least. And the plural of it is?
Al asma.
Asma. Now. So, when it comes to nouns, Arabic is a very meticulous language. Very detailed. Very detailed. Yeah. This means noun. This means nouns. Also, this means name. And this means names. Right. Okay. So, we want to talk about nouns. As I was mentioning, that Arabic is a very meticulous language. So nouns fall into many categories. The first category we're going to talk about is now is al-mufrad. Mufrad. Al-mufrad means singular. Mufrad means singular. So you have singular nouns and names in Arabic. Singular. And the meaning of singular is man. No. Forgot to do it. 1 minute. Yeah, bring God. We're gonna start a new beginner's class. You're gonna go through the alphabet, everything. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But you're just getting a sneak peek into after you finish the alphabet. Yeah, we finished the alphabet a little while ago. Yeah, but we're gonna start a new class. Don't worry about it. So المفرد ما ليس به. So I'm into that. So the mufrad is ما ليس بمثنى ولا جمع. ولا جمع. So that which isn't dual nor plural. This is what singular word is. It's a word that is not dual nor plural. We'll get to when we get to dual, you'll see why. Because Arabic has a working duality. For nouns and verbs, it has a working duality, meaning you do not need a helping word to show duality, like both. Right? Both in English means both, or you need what else is the word that means dual in English? Double. You don't need that in Arabic. The actual word can be made double. The noun itself can be made double. Even proper nouns like people's names can be made double. You don't have to say both Muhammads. Use both in Muhammad. You don't have to say two. You don't have to use the letter two with the number two and like that. You'll just add some letters and it would show that that word means two of them. But we're dealing with mufrad. Singular. So a word that is singular is a word that doesn't point to a dual meaning, nor does it point to a plural meaning. That is a singular noun in Arabic. or that's singularity in Arabic. Let's say that because it goes for verbs also. It is very simple. When a word points to something that is singular, that's one, then it's mufrad. It's not, it's not like a deep kind of, so how can I tell it's only one? Okay, and let's say if you learn the name Hassan. It's a mufrad. It's a singular name. It's talking about one person. So if you learn the word chair, kursi, singular, chair, a chair. Let's say if you learn the word chalkboard, sabora, okay, that's it. One of the things that can let us know that a word is a singular noun is going to be mainly in its meaning, but also if it does not have any of the additions, like for instance, let's bring insan. So we'll take Muhammad. Muhammadun. That's a person. Singular now. Because it ends with two dhammas, with tanween, and there's no addition on it that would make it plural. There's no addition. So insan, hayawan. So we have a human or a person. Asadun, which means lion. So now we have an animal, because in a more detailed explanation of what a noun is, the scholars say, insanun kullu ma yusammi bihi insanun aw hayawanun aw nabatun jamadun aw ayyu shay'in akhar. They say a noun is anything that you use to name a human, insan, an animal, hayawan, nabat. You can say an apple. So now we have nabat, plant. So a human, an animal, a plant.
Kursi,
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna write jabal.
Jabal.
Mm-hmm. Jabal. Mountain or jamad, inanimate object. So anything you use to name a human, an animal, a plant, an inanimate jamad, an animate object, or let's say shape, or qalamun. Qalamun, which is pen or pencil. Qalamun. So anything used to name a human, an animal, a plant, an animate object, or anything else, any word that you use to name those things, that thing that being named is a noun. A noun. So we have Muhammadun, which is the name of a human being, the human name. Asadun, lion, the name of an animal. Tufahatun, apple, name of a plant. Jabalun, mountain, the name of an inanimate object, and qalamun is anything else than that. Also, also is a noun, thought, an idea, fikr. Yes, this is also a noun. So anything else, anything that is named, indi fikr, I have an idea. What is that idea? It's a noun, it's not a verb. It's a noun. Now, Nah. Shu'urun, feelings, nouns. You name them. Now, so these are nouns, and all of these, they do not have the signs of duality or plural. Now, the beautiful thing about Arabic is that when it comes to nouns and verbs and things like that, the words have a pattern. In most of the occasions, the words have a pattern. So now the singular words in Arabic don't follow a pattern, but dual and plural have patterns. So if all you have to do is look at a word and say, if it doesn't have the pattern of dual or plural, it has to be singular. If it doesn't have the pattern of dual or plural, then it must be singular. Must be singular. And we'll talk about that. Okay, so this is ism mufrad. This is a singular noun. Mufrad. Okay, next. We're going to talk about duality. Now, I'll leave that. Duality. I'll leave that right there. Okay, muthanna, which means dual. Dual. And I'm using a very easy definition in order to make it plain. Dual is ما ليس بمفرد ولا جمع. Dual is that which is not singular or plural. So you're gonna exclude the other two. When it's one of the other two are gonna automatically be excluded. ما ليس بمفرد ولا جمع. Okay. So this is a dual word, something that points to two things, whatever it is. How is that done? It is a simple process of adding two letters, and we went through the whole alphabet. It's a simple process of adding alif and noon or ya and noon to the end of the singular letter. The singular word, I'm sorry. You add alif and noon or ya and noon. Because the reason it's different, alif or ya, it depends on the grammatical situation of the word. We're not going to get into the grammar, but just know that it's either going to be alif or ya. Alif or ya. Right over here, to and me. A. Word. Bull. ألف and نون و ذا and نون to E and of the word. Another thing that's going to be very important, that noun will always have a kasra. The noun will always have a noun always has a kasra. This is muthanna. This is dual. Don't get muthanna confused with mu'annath. Mu'annath, that we're going to take later, it means feminine. Muthanna means dual. So, here we have Muhammadu, which is singular. So, what must we do? So we're going to do both. We're going to say Muhammadun plus alif plus noon, the kasr, put the kasr automatically, equals you can read that.
Muhammadani.
Yeah. Muhammadani. That means two Muhammads. If we add the ya, you say, because you say yeah too. So then what we're going to say about this one?
Muhammadaini.
Nah. So these are going to be Muhammadani or Muhammad Dani. We're going to do the same thing with Asad. Plus alif plus noon kasr equals you can read that.
Sadani.
Now or
Asadaini.
yeah. Do the same thing again. Plus alif plus noon kasra equals.
Tafahatani.
Okay.
Tufahatani.
Mm-hmm.
Tufahatani.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Now do what you just did on the other one. Nah. Hey. No, we took lean. We took lean. Nah. Okay. Us. Eddie. Plus. No. Castle. Equals.
Jabalani,
Mm-hmm.
Jabalani,
Nah.
Polanani, Polamani.
Exactly.
I was mixing myself up with the other ones we learned. The thing went in between the word. The pattern was
Mm-hmm.
and this is at the. It Tang first.
I jumped the gun. I jumped the gun. It's supposed to be plus and all that, right?
Yeah.
What's your correct, sir?
Tang, no, Tang,
Mm-mm.
no,
Nah.
Tang,
Yeah.
Tang.
Yeah. No. Now, the thing if the word is with the Tamar Bupa. You have to open up that tab. Remember we said what Tamar Bupa was. What did we say it was?
Close tab.
It's a closed tab. So put it back up in order to add the end. So you're gonna open it up and it's gonna go like that. And now, there's your tab. There's your Africa. And add it from new or the protein. Yeah. So this is it. This is the door. Look at those, what? Plurals, what is jam? What does that mean, that sentence? ما ليس بمفرد ولا مثنى. What does that mean?
Meaning that it's neither singular or dual.
Nah. So jam, it's easy. Whatever is not singular or dual, it must be plural. It's not singular nor is it dual, it must be plural. Now, there are three types of plural in Arabic. We're only going to take two. There are three types of plural in Arabic. We're only going to take two. Whatever is plural, well, really, we're going to kind of take all three. We're going to take all three in understanding, because when it's plural, and it doesn't fall into one of the other two categories, the two categories that we're about to take, then it's the third one. So it's three categories of plural. You'll know the third one by understanding the first two. I'm going to make it simple. Later on, when we get into sarf, morphology, then it'll be more of a detailed explanation of the third category. But right now, while we're in our beginning classes, we don't need to delve too deep into the third category. And the third category has many patterns that we'll learn when we learn sarf.
And plural.
Yeah. Yeah. Many patterns. Once you learn the pattern, then you automatically want to know how to do it. So it's all patterns. So the first plural we're going to take is called جمع المذكر السالم. جمع المذكر السالم. So this is the perfect masculine plural. جمع المذكر السالم means the perfect masculine plural. It is the perfect masculine plural. جمع مذكر السالم. Oh, no, that was right. So if I can go to some good choices. Feels good. There's a lot of feels. Which not shown. Perfect masculine plural. So, the reason the perfect masculine plural is called the perfect masculine plural is because there is no break or distortion in the singular. So in order for it to be the perfect masculine plural, first of all, the word has to be masculine. So it's not applied to feminine words. It's not applied to feminine words. And we're going to get into the detail of how is the word feminine. Because you have words that are literally feminine and words that are figuratively feminine, but not really feminine. So any word that is literally feminine, as we get when we take it, we'll take it next year. Anyway, the perfect masculine plural, number one, the word has to be masculine. Number one, meaning it has to have a masculine meaning or point to a male. A male. And a male in the Arabic language is every creature that possesses genitalia of a male. That's a male, that's a literal male. And that's a literal male. Then you have the figurative male is what? The figurative male is everything that points to a masculine meaning. So for the literal male, all we have to, anything that has the male genitals, it's a male. The figurative male is like al-qamar, the moon, it's masculine. Right? Other things that are masculine, like jidal, wall, it's a masculine. Be treated as masculine. Huh? No worry. That can be. Yeah. Notice one that can be used either way. You can use as a male can be named Noor and a female can be named Noor. Now, Jidal. We said that. Let me think of another. Saqaf, roof. Masculine. Another word, back, door, and things like that. So these are figuratively masculine because they're referred to as masculine, although they don't have male genitalia. And we're going to go through the same thing we talk about female. So how's a word made masculine in this way? It's called general molecular set, the perfect masculine plural. So let's take the same thing we did before, the name of a human. So we'll take Muhammad. We already know how to say two Muhammads. What about a bunch of three or more? Plural in Arabic is three or more. We have Muhammad. Muhammad. So in order to make plural, make perfect. Perfect. Masculine. Plural. Right. Well, and noon, or yeah, and noon, and the noon always has a fatha. Noon always has a fatha. So you see, we said with dual, the noon always has a kesel, but with the masculine plural, it always has a fatha. So we do what? Muhammadun. Muhammadun. So then we're going to say plus, well, plus, noon, Remember, the fatha is gonna come by default, equals. Muhammad,
Muhammadun.
نعم
Madonna.
نعم محمدون. نعم. All right. Oh, sorry, we have to add the other one. Or Muhammad. Name. Now let's do it.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do with this one?
That's Muhammadin.
No.
Dina.
First.
Oh, that's Muhammadin. Dina.
Now Medina. So the letter, this is another point I mentioned. Write this in your dual notes. That the letter before the yeah in the dual will have a fatha. And the letter before the yeah in the plural will have a kasr. Always. So now, if we take this word,
So it was it.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
You want us to pray?
No, we're gonna pray. We're here.
Oh,
How's your prayer?
well, I think. Yeah, we haven't gone yet.
What time is it?
9:05, I think.
9.
9:09.
Okay. Yeah.
9:09.
Mu'minun. Mu'min. Yeah, Mu'minun.
You.
Mu'minuna. Mu'minuna.
No, exactly. Inshallah, we'll finish. We're gonna pause for class. I'm in for Salat, and then we'll come back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're back. Okay, so we're talking about Jamu Mudhakkar as-Salim, the perfect masculine plural. We have mu'minun. Mu'minun, a believer. We have the waw and the noon. It will become mu, mu, mi, nu, afwan. Mu'minun. Mu'minuna, and then we add the ya. Mu, mi, nina. Mu'minuna, mu'minina. Same thing. If we say it doesn't have to have a mean, we can say Khalid. Khalidun. Khalidun. Plus wow plus noon with a fatha equals
Khaliduna.
na. Khaliduna. Khaliduna. Or with the ya,
Khalidina.
na. We know this ayah over and over again. Khalidina fiha. Khalidina fiha. Na. I don't mean something with a meme again, because we did meme. I don't want anybody to think that it has to be a meme. It doesn't have to be a meme. Uh, Sa'iqun means a driver. Sa'iqun. Plus wow, plus noon with fatha. Sa'iqun.
Sa'ibuna.
Naam, sa'iquna. And with the ya,
Sa'ikina.
three, all.
Qina. Sa'ikina.
Nah. My people. This is a lie. This is a dress. This is a lie. Plus, wow.
Kadibuna.
Nah. Noon fatha.
Kadibina.
نعم كاذبون كاذبين Now, so we'll take that for today. Stop here. Alhamdulillah. So we took the mufrad, we took the muthanna, we took jama' mudhakkar as-salim.
Would you say the Sa'ikun?
Sa'iqun is a driver,
And then
which is a very terrifying verse in Surah Al-Qaf.
nah.
Allah says, Sa'iqun wa shaheed. That will be with each individual. Sa'iqun wa shaheed. A driver and a witness. Someone to push him towards his reckoning, his judgment, and a witness to witness over him what he did. Now,
Are those the angels of
the angels, yeah.
writing?
I don't know if the angels were writing or two different angels.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Oh, no.
I don't want to leave. Okay.
No.
Let's keep this a check. That's four, right?
Four.
Mhm.
So it's night or morning, okay?
Whatever you do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get in this house and everything. Eating down.
Have an outside question.
You come out.
Yes, I know.